My name is George Triarchis. I am the Supervisor of Buildings and Grounds for the Tingsboro Public Schools, and I am in my 15th year. The location where your devices were installed is in modular classrooms that were added on to Tingsboro High School 7, 8, 9 years ago. They had a typical situation with a rooftop unit that provided both heat and air conditioning. Each room was supplied with a digital thermostat that the teacher had access to. And we found it problematic because teachers and students could pretty much run wild with both heat and cooling, and we felt it was most ineffective as far as energy conservation is concerned. 6 classrooms, each one had a teacher, and it wasn't necessarily always the same teacher. Most people have different comfort levels. We did have day-night setbacks on these digital thermostats that were supplied with the classrooms. However, as you know, there's overrides on these, and almost invariably every teacher would want to turn it to cold, turn it to hot, and could make adjustments over a wide range of temperature, both in the cooling cycle and in the heat cycle. So you really had to keep an eye on it to make sure that these units weren't either left on or whether someone didn't override it at the end of the occupied time, or whether or not someone was in on a weekend and decided to turn the unit on. You really had to be vigilant to check these. We really had no central control or any way to look at these other than to be present in the classroom. We didn't have the funding or the budget to pull wires and to add all that area of the school to our existing EMS system. So this wireless technology was something that was going to be beneficial to us. Millennial came out and discussed with me what devices they had available, and most notably was the Y-Stat, which was the thermostat would go on the wall. They came out and met with myself and the technology director to try and understand what we had with regards to where devices could be located, where the router might want to be located, and it basically took off from there, where we settled on the modular classrooms for your Y-Stats. As far as our cost for Millennial Net's project, we were very lucky to get some energy initiative rebate money through National Grid. So the cost to Tingsboro was probably less than 30% of the overall project, and the actual cost for the work that Millennial Net did was paid to them directly through National Grid. Well, it was very important for National Grid to have information regarding what types of savings we might see. So Millennial Net took it upon themselves to get copies of our utility bills for the past year and take a look at the actual space that was going to be controlled and put forward through an application process to National Grid the types of savings that we would see with their project. So they played a good role. They basically took the ball and carried it as far as getting the funding that we would need to help pay for this project. It gives us the control to give the end user in the classroom a small throw with regards to how warm or how cold they can make their space. And most people in my business have tried the covers over the thermostats, have tried different things, and they all seem to get either vandalized or picked at. Everyone wants to have some control over their space. With the Y-Stat giving you a throw of 3 or 4 degrees either way off a set point, and giving them a device to still play with, to give them the sense that they are in control of their space, it's just a win-win for both. Where we have it located in the modular classrooms, we see a savings of at least 20 to 25% minimum, just because we have more control and we are not going to see the use of those classrooms when they are not occupied. Oh, it goes to the bottom line big time, especially since we're all seeing some budgetary constraints with regard to all of our things in education. We have taken good care to make sure we run in an occupied-unoccupied cycle, to make sure that we don't heat the building during the night when no one's there. But this gives you a much finer point of control than what you have with just a pneumatic thermostat on the wall that people can tend to turn up or turn down. And you have to keep in mind, in older buildings that have unit ventilators that have an outside air damper on the outside wall, if a faculty member or a custodian or someone decides to turn that thermostat down, way down to 55 because they're uncomfortable for some reason in February, if for some reason that kicks on in the middle of the night and starts sucking in cold air without the warm water, without the pumps running, you're subject to freeze-ups. You're subject to a lot of damage that might happen to your mechanical devices. It's a great comfort, I think. It's a great energy savings, but it probably will help you with regards to repairs that you may end up facing down the road if you don't have real good control. It's been a very good experience for me from the get-go. Millennial Net has been terrific, returning phone calls, being present on the site. Their product has proven to be exactly what they said it was. It's given me good control, and we've seen some savings.
The Tingsboro situation is not unique, as many towns have been struggling with energy management, particularly in their older buildings. From nearby modular classrooms to widely dispersed campus settings, Millennial Net can help you control your energy costs without the expense and time involved in a complete rip and replace. And don't let budget constraints stand between you and these savings, as Millennial Net will work closely with you to take full advantage of the currently available funding incentives. To arrange for a face-to-face meeting to explore your options, or to simply learn more about the Millennial Net Energy Management Solution, just click a link on this page. Take control with Millennial Net.